Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. Warner Brothers, you are a crafty, cruel bunch, aren't you? You are out trending Captain Marvel and Avengers 4 Endgame. This is hilarious. The Batman is out trending the MCU, the DCEU again. People are more interested whether they love it or hate it. They're more interested in talking about this subject, about this movie franchise. So, Matt Reeves, Rogues Gallery, how is that going to work? Well, very exciting yesterday, wasn't it, to see and hear Matt Reeves being so open and honest about what he wants to do with this film. And he said that the Rogues Gallery will feature. Amazing. He didn't say who. He didn't say all of them. He just said the Rogues Gallery. Well, the Rogues is plural. So, again, we have to ask the question, Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, maybe Mr. Freeze. I don't know. I don't know who he's going to choose. Scarecrow. Could be anyone. But, again, the question would, if in terms of the Joker, if he wants to use the Joker and you think he kind of has to use the Joker because he's the most successful, popular Batman villain, of course, this is a bit problematic. Who is he going to use? Who's he going to cast if he does bring the Joker into the Batman? Again, these are while we answer the Ben Affleck question, we have to answer. It's like a puzzle, isn't it? It's like a maze. The more you work out the maze, the more you get lost in the maze. And this is what I love about the DCEU. Will Leto return to play the Joker, or is Leto done? If I'm being honest, I don't think that Jared Leto will play the Joker again in the DCEU. I think they'll cast someone else. It wouldn't surprise me even if Joaquin Phoenix gets the gig, even though he's kind of an Elseworld Joker. But I'll go one further about Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, that he's actually playing a random guy who copycats the Joker. That's what I think. It wouldn't surprise me if they're doing that, which is a very interesting take. But of course, that means he's not really part of the DC Comics universe. But it would still be very interesting. I don't know if that's what they're going to do. So it's kind of interesting where we're going now, because I do feel the DCEU is more a franchise of individual films that will still be slightly interconnected, but not obsessively interconnected. So there'll be a freedom for each filmmaker to go their own direction. I think this is really going to be the same thing as Universal are doing with their Monsters universe. Since The Mummy failed, I think they've got Blumhouse doing The Invisible Man, which is Blumhouse are an amazing production company. Jason Blumhouse is a genius. So, I think this is the direction we're going. Films that feel like films, the films we grew up with, where it was actually about, that filmmaker's vision. Because with the MCU, Kevin Feige has the vision. He brings in the director. It's like a TV show. So you've got your showrunners, right? And then you've got your directors who have very little say on what happens in each episode. They literally just read the script and do it. And that's the thing with the MCU. But what's going on with the DCEU now is it's a filmmaker's paradise. They can come into this universe and tell their story. They'll have to have a couple of Easter eggs like we're going to see in Shazam. But basically, it is up to that filmmaker's discretion on what film they're going to get to make. So this is, of course, very interesting. So you've got the Joker puzzle, which we don't know. Then we've got Josh Gad and the Penguin. This is like the biggest kind of thing on the internet. Josh is just an amazing lad. He really is, really talented too. I think Josh should get the gig, just because anyone who's that passionate about getting the gig should get the gig. We know he's more than capable of doing it. And I think having Josh involved would be brilliant. The media will be all over him. He'll be posting on Twitter and posting pics and be very excited. And I think this is the type of thing we want to see in the DCEU. We've seen it a lot in the MCU. So I'm all for Josh Gad getting that role. Then you've got characters like the Riddler. I'd assume if you're going to have a Rogues Gallery, you've got to have the Riddler, haven't you? And definitely Catwoman. And I think Catwoman is someone they really need to get right. I think Nolan got her totally wrong in The Dark Knight Rises. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't a fan of his version of Catwoman awful. I'm not happy with Gotham's version of Catwoman or Catgirl. She has been one of the lead, because Gotham has done a great job with those villains, with that rogues gallery. But it's actually Catwoman, or, you know, Selina, who's been so underdeveloped, and none of that character on Gotham actually works. The only live action Catwoman who's ever worked for me is really Michelle Pfeiffer. There was one I liked in the Batman's TV series movie. She was amazing, seductive, beautiful, evil. Loved her. You know, when she did the Miss Kitka thing and all that. But really, it's been Michelle Pfeiffer for me. So they just need to find someone who's really disturbed and dark, that can be this kind of thief and kind of villain, but can also kind of stray that tightrope of being this woman who's actually kind of in love with Bruce Wayne, but also can do her own thing and break the rules. That can be multi-layered and multi-dimensional and very interesting. This is what the Rogues Gallery is. Batman's Rogues Gallery is a bunch of really multi-interested layered characters with serious mental issues, you know. So they're interesting if you do them properly. And if you don't do them properly, I mean, what Nolan did with the Joker is exactly what we want to see with Matt Reeves' Rogues Gallery all round. So very, very excited. There's so many things they can do. Definitely would like Josh Gad to play the Penguin. I don't know who plays. I mean, if Jared Leto doesn't get the Joker gig, who does? And I mean, I've already spoken about this in this video, but I think it'll be a very interesting, intense piece of casting, because I've talked about Cameron Monaghan maybe playing a younger Bruce Wayne, or maybe playing a young Joker. And I think because he's been so successful in Gotham, for me, it would be an absolute crime not to use him.